What's going on, everybody? I hope everyone's having a fantastic evening, fantastic afternoon, fantastic pre-noon, no matter where you are in the world. I'm Hasan Piker, and this is the Hasanabi broadcast coming to you live from sunny Dubrovnik, Croatia. We're live and alive, folks, and I hope all the boys, girls, and MBs are having a fantastic one, because today is a beautiful day. Today's a wonderful day. Today is Friday, one day after the 4th of July. That's right. It's Friday, July 5th, 20 days out from my birthday, and also Benjamin Netanyahu's state of addressing the United States Congress, which is weird, but it is what it is. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. It is 10:21 a.m. Pacific, basically 7:21 p.m. Kyrgyzstan time. Hey, hope you enjoyed Croatia. Have you been in North Croatia as well? Absolutely not. I have not been to Zagreb. But yeah, I'm live and alive, and I hope all the boys, girls, and MBs are having a fantastic one. Hopefully we'll be able to continue this broadcast uninterrupted. The problem is that, of course, there's going to be a lot of drops. I'm just letting you guys know. There's just a lot of drops in the beginning of the broadcast, in the first hour, in the first 2 hours, basically. And I talked to the hotel, and they were like, we talked to the ISP. We talked to the internet service provider for you, and there's not really anything we can do. When a lot of people are using the internet, they just clamp on it. So it's cool. It's like I'm in America. That's the wonderful experience. I get to have American internet experience in Croatia. They were like, hey, we want you to feel what it's like when you have American internet here, so you don't feel homesick. Anyway, I'm live, I'm alive, and this is the part of the broadcast where I tell you a little bit about my personal news, about what's going on in the world of Hasanabi Piker. And this is for all the Parasocialists. The Parasocialists update in between the time period where I press the stop streaming button and press the start streaming button. And boy, has a lot happened. I ended the broadcast last night after 6 hours. It's going to drop right now. As soon as I said that, by the way, it's going to F a little bit. It's going to go in and out. It's going to be mini Fs that followed by a major F. Hopefully it doesn't shut down the entire stream, but it's okay. It's going to happen. Watch it in low streamer, low bandwidth mode, or whatever you need to do. Anyway. Did you swim in the blue caves or whatever? No, that was yesterday. I didn't actually end up swimming there because there's too many people there. But anyway, I went to a different cave today. I swam in a different cave today. As a Croat studying in Zagreb and being from the coast, I had so much fun getting your American appearance of Croatia. I loved it, and I have a hard time believing no one is clocking you for being Turkish just by nose alone. Is this a very Turkish nose? I didn't realize that was a thing, but I do love that Croatians are like, yes, we know exactly what your genealogy looks like just by looking at some of your heritable traits. Especially when, to the normal eye, it is indecipherable, but to the Croat does not have a normal eye. It's advanced racism. We know what you are. Anyway. But yeah, went on the boat again today, conquered my fear of the ocean, or the sea rather, but I guess I'm not too fearful of the sea, so it's not technically conquering a big fear of mine. The sea is like one thing, the ocean is an entirely separate being, as you guys know. In any case, went to a cave, got in the cave, not scared of the sea. I mean, it's just less octopus, less fish. Fish are smaller, they're chiller, water is clearer. It's a lot saltier though, which I guess is the reason why there aren't that many sharks and shit, or as massive sharks, They just can't live in the Adriatic. Smaller waves. The seas are connected to the ocean, true, except all landmass is connected to one another as well, but I'm not fucking going to St. Louis, you know? I was about to say St. Minneapolis. All landmass is connected to one another, but you will never catch me inside of fucking St. Louis, you know what I'm saying? You feel me? Or Ohio. So it's kind of like that. Is salty because the fish pee in it? Yeah, that's not the case. I know why it's salty. It's salty because of all the mineral deposits coming in from all of the rivers and whatnot. Anyway, I heard that there was a massive shark attack in Texas too, and the fish pee. Anyway, so it's Friday. I'm not gonna do the fucking Mufasa Friday intro because I just don't want to risk it. I don't want to risk cutting out in between me playing Mufasa. Yeah, just, you know, say no all you want, but I just don't want to risk having the stream F during the Mufasa intro. Okay. Anyway. But yeah, there's a break in tradition. There's no Fridays in Croatia. It's a big Friday though, regardless. A lot going on in the world. We're going to be talking about all of it. But yeah, after I got off the boat, I went to the Red Museum. I was very excited. Because I had heard about it. Alexa specifically wanted me to go. As you guys know, a resident Serb, Alexa, who's currently occupying my house, he wanted me to go. He was also wondering what the Croatian attitude towards Tito is. And did you get seasick? No, I did not. So is it the Victims of Communism Museum? No, so Tito is Croatian. So as like the former Yugoslavian Republic's glorious leader Tito, it's a bit of a love-hate situation in Croatia, it seems. It's a little bit of a love-hate situation in Croatia, where like they like him. They like him because, like, you know, there was a lot of periods in Yugoslavian development under his watch, but they also are like kind of anti-socialist, anti-communist. So, you know, the bunker guy, no, that's Enver Hoxha. He's Albanian. Anyway, the in certain parts of the country, he's more beloved. In others, he's more hated. Yeah. Like, I asked my captain of the ship that I was on how he felt about him. And he was like kind of woke. He was like, all war is done for money. It's so rich people get richer. So I'm like, maybe this motherfucker knows a thing or two, right? And I was like, and he basically said, I was not a part of the party, so I did not like him. That's what he said. Which is cool. I mean, he wasn't like, I fucking hate him, he's a socialist piece of shit. But he basically was like, he doesn't own a ship. No, he's just a like a captain of the charter whatever company. It doesn't matter. He doesn't like own his own ship. Anyway, but he basically said, I was not a part of the party, so I did not like him. Anyway, usually the case that my parents' generation doesn't like him because they were young near the collapse of Yugoslavia, but any older generations do tend to think it was much better then. Yeah. That makes sense. But I still, you know, I still enjoyed it. There was a Yugo there, which was sick. There was a Yugo at the museum, which was awesome, which I personally loved. No, not Yugopnik, Yugo, which is the Yugoslavian car that they made. It's like a Lada. What's the attitude towards Tito from modern leftists? I mean, it's mixed. It depends. If you're like a Stalinist, you consider him to be a filthy revisionist, and you think that his like anti-centralization initiatives were unironically what led to the demise of like Yugoslavia or whatever. I think like overall he is definitely liked a lot by Western leftists for sure. He's seen as like a Euro communist almost. Western leftists like him, unless they're Stalinist, like unless they're super pro Stalin, in which case they don't like him. But you know, Yugoslavia forever, boys. But a lot of modern leftists would like him, most likely. I'm an archaeologist who worked on partisan heritage in Croatia and also on a Ustazi camp. I hope you liked Red Museum. No way. I did. I liked it. I loved it, actually. It was so sick because like it's basically a slice of life of like, you know, socialist Yugoslavia. Like they have these like they have these like there's just like a living room basically filled with all of this stuff. Like there's a medicine cabinet, and it shows that like Yugoslavia had a novel chemical compound invention, like novel chemical compound discovery, azithromycin, the medication you use for gonorrhea, which Pfizer basically sells to the rest of the world. Like that was discovered in Yugoslavia. You know, it was pretty cool. I didn't know that. So they have that kind of stuff. I learned about how they saw Coca-Cola and were like, we need to immediately make our own shit, our own version. I forget what it's called now. It's in the photos that I posted from the place, but Kokta. They were like, Coca-Cola is very nice. We need to make our own. It's Kokta. Yeah. Which was cool. They had Lenin and Stalin. Here is him when he got arrested with the Giga Chad jawline. Wait, where is it? Oh, I thought I posted the other ones. Oh, wait, I posted it on my Instagram, not story, but actually on my Instagram post. Yeah, I posted on Instagram, by the way. Not that you care, but yeah. Me and the best Croat to ever do it. Me and Tito, side by side, posted up, stanced up. You already know what it is. You know what I'm saying? Here's some posters from the era, some agitprop. This one's sick. Here's me with a Yugo, stanced up. This is the Kokta, the Pepsi, next to the Pepsi, and this is the medicine cabinet. Can you apply for an IMF loan in the museum? Tito died 1991. Hasanabi born 1991. Welcome back, Tito. Yeah, except he didn't die in 1991. He died in, I think, 1980. So he died in 1980. I was born in 1991. Welcome back, Tito. Reincarnated. Yugoslavia died in 1991. I was born in 1991. Welcome back, Yugoslavia. I share a birthday with Tito and I have a medal with his face on it. Thanks, Grandpa. Is it his actual birthday, which I believe is March 5th, or the fake birthday that he has that everyone knows as his birthday? It's another thing I learned in the museum. Because like, I think they celebrate his actual, like they don't celebrate his actual birthday. He has like a separate birthday that they celebrate. I worked on Agitprop site in Dresnica. We found mechanical letters partisan used for flyers. That's so sick. I will say this much about the Red Museum. To the archaeologist in the chat, maybe you can confirm this, but like it was like a push and pull. Okay, it was a push and pull. On the one hand, they're like, well, this guy's a Croat, and also there was like a period of massive development, right? And then also a period of massive development, and then a period of like liberalization to a certain degree that originally was kind of good and then not so good. But then there's like an entire segment dedicated to like political repression, and it's like behind a curtain, and you open up the curtain and it's like this dark room, and they're like, they were butchering people. Like, oh my God, the partisans were so ruthless. And in my mind, I'm thinking like, will they say who they are ruthless to? And it doesn't really, you know, they don't really mention it. There is almost no mention of the Ustaza. There's no mention of like Nazi invasion in the entire fucking museum, which is weird because like, as far as I understand, in Croatia, it's not even called like World War II. It's called like the War of Liberation or whatever. Right? So like it doesn't it's just like, yeah, they were ruthless. It's true. The partisans were fucking brutal. It is true. Except who were they ruthless to? They make it seem like they were just they make it seem as though, yes, because they didn't talk about this in Yugoslavia. They make it seem as though like in the museum itself, they make it seem as though because we were all brothers. I do love that. But anyway, like I said, they make it seem as though like it was a big wrong, a grave wrong committed towards some people in the aftermath of World War II. Who are those people and what was their ideological background? Who knows? They just basically stamp it as like, anyone who was accused of being a collaborator was like ruthlessly slaughtered. And it's like, okay. A descendant of a partisan lieutenant. It never happened, but if it did happen, it was a good thing because they were Nazis. Yeah. But there's that aspect of it, and then there's the labor camps, obviously, and then the classic like suppression of any kind of dissent. They kind of talk about that as well. Not big fans of Stalin out here, that's for sure. That makes sense though. And I did get the vibe that they kind of liked like the museum. The vibes I got was basically that like, I mean, this is the most positive you're ever gonna fucking, this is the most positive coverage and treatment of events that you're ever gonna get because it's not in America or in the Western world. So like, so it was still like very positive overall towards Tito, towards Yugoslavia, but you know, it was hypercritical of a lot of the aspects. But beyond that, I found it particularly interesting that they talked about liberalization and like economic reforms as like a net benefit across the board. Like decentralization aside, like Yugoslavian socialism being a completely separate a concept, not a separate concept, but like a separate mechanism to achieve socialism is one thing, right? Like market socialism, Titoism. Having said that, beyond that, I did feel like I did feel like they mostly talked about like Western allegiances being a great benefit to Yugoslavia, which ultimately it was, as long as you're talking about money, but also it simultaneously led to like the 80s economic downturn. Like they briefly mention it, but there's like, wow, there's a lot of unemployment. I don't know why that's happening as the privatization is occurring. I thought it was very cool that like privatization was completely banned, like private businesses were completely banned. The first ever private business, they gave an allocation to businesses with 3 employees. They were like, you can only have a private business if you have 3 employees, right? Small businesses. And 1988 was the first time. 1988 was the first time Yugoslavia had a private business. But yeah. The agrarian reforms, they talk about that a lot as well, which I thought was cool. This nerd really went on vacation to study history. It was the coolest part of the Croatian trip. My dad bought an apartment at 21 after working for 3 years in Tito's Yugoslavia. (1988) was also the first year women in the US could get a business loan without a man. I mean, 1946 is like when women had full rights and full equality in Yugoslavia. So they were kind of, as is the case with many other communist countries, they were kind of fucking lapping the Western world on that shit, which is really funny because I'm at the museum and I'm listening to what like other people's criticisms are, I guess, because like a lot of the people that enter the museum are like, I suspect academics, but like, you know, Westerners with like not exactly the fondest opinion of socialism. So this like older lady was telling her daughter like, of course there were no women in positions of power, it's all men. And I was like white knuckling. I just wanted, so I didn't say anything. I didn't want to be like, International Women's Day is literally a communist product, okay? And also there's a like, I didn't want to be like, there are famous revolutionary figures that are women, okay? Women played a very important role in both the USSR, but across the board in every socialist nation. Socialist and communist countries were literally ahead of Western nations in terms of like giving autonomy and equality to women and constitutionally protecting said equality. And I didn't say anything. I shut the fuck up. It's just, all I'm saying is she was wrong, and now I'm having shower conversations basically. And a really good thing is that the Yugoslavian legacy in Croatia is very wide education when it comes to art, history, and literature. Also, they teach you philosophy, logic, sociology, psychology in most good high schools. And I'm very thankful for it, even though I'm a STEM nerd, still flexing and spamming. I'm sorry, I really want you to see this message. I see it. Yeah. Yugoslavia legalized abortion first in Europe in 1974. Yugoslavia decriminalized homosexuality in 1977. Okay, they had a sex ed program. I learned it failed, but at least they tried. Yeah, Yugoslavia decriminalized homosexuality in 1977. Yeah, that's before homosexuality was even invented, dude. People didn't even know you could be gay back then. So, you know. Yugoslavia forever. Anyway. Off topic, would you see the Kendrick music video? I saw bits and pieces of it. Any Game of Thrones stuff while you're there? No. No. I didn't do any Game of Thrones shit. Even though technically everything is Game of Thrones shit in I was about to call it Yugoslavia. Technically everything is Game of Thrones shit in Croatia, because literally, like, these people live in castles, bro. It's weird. I mean, it's cool as fuck, but it's also kind of weird. Like, they straight up live inside of the same fucking castles. Half of it was built in like the year 4, okay? Like, and sunk, but still. Like, I'm talking like some of the fucking fortress walls that like surround the old town are like super old, and people just live in them. Yeah, I'd walk around carrying a sword. Yeah, no, the vibes are like that for sure. The vibes are like that, absolutely. Like, when I was approaching the dock on my boat, okay, I felt like an Ottoman merchant. You know what I mean? Like, I'm about to sell spices to these Croatians, to the Hrvats. Like, it literally felt like it just feels like they're just living in a different era. But yeah, do they have modern appliances? Yes, their internet is ass, but everything else is fine. Did the museum say anything about Mao? No, there was zero mentions of Mao, mostly because Yugoslavia had its own Sino-Soviet split. Like, they had their own Yugo-Soviet split, and obviously that was what was heavily featured in the conversation, because they had their own like version of that. The Tito-Stalin is the Tito-Stalin split. Do you celebrate the 4th of July with Croatians? Thanks in advance. No. Do you want to visit similar museums while you're in China? I would love to. The difference is the Chinese museums will be an accurate reflection of history with no revisions. And you still have market socialists on Twitter? Yeah. But those guys, for the most part, are just like sock dems that want to appear cool. Most people who are like, oh, I'm a Titoist, they just fucking say that because, you know, they're just social democrats who are incredibly reactionary, oftentimes very pro-NATO, you know. But that's it. Titoism equals more IMF loans. Brother, those motherfucking loans helped Yugoslavia quite a bit until it didn't. A lot of privatization that occurred, and then it didn't help at all. But the point is, if there was a country if there was a world where like America was like the USSR, okay, if America was like the USSR and did a Marshall Plan for communism, the world would be very different. Instead of doing like IMF loans, if they gave unconditional amounts of financial support for developing nations post World War II, in order for them to be able to do their managed economies, in order if they wanted to do like fucking state controlled, centrally planned governance, or if they wanted to do market socialism, whatever the fuck they wanted to do, if they were just like giving them unconditional money, yes, we would have global communism today. It's just money, man. That's it. Yugoslavia was the third largest economy in Europe in its prime. Yugoslavia had an entire decade from 53 to 63 with the largest productive growth, 9% each year. The only other country that has ever experienced growth to that same magnitude was Japan. It's like, it's pretty good. Tito sent a letter to Stalin after multiple failed assassination attempts that not to try anymore, or Tito would send one to Moscow and they would not fail. Yeah, I saw that. That's pretty cool. Anyway. But yeah. I just saw a period. I saw like a slice of life from what could have been. Anyway.